So we got May 20th. That's what the date is. Wednesday 2020. May 20th 2020. But I've been wanting to try and get out to the corn. See how sloppy and wet it is. This is flowing water. You can kind of see how it's flowing right here. You can't really tell, but we have been getting non-stop rain, and you know, the corn's doing pretty good. You see this right here? You see that right there? This I didn't know what was going on here. See there on the tops, and right there, and right there, and they come down here. Oh, here's a new one right there. Can't be having that now, because this corn won't be pollinated if it all these tops. Well, just the other day when I was coming out here, just like my wife had told me, she saw that squirrel in this garden eating my English peas. That squirrel, I sat there and watched it on this post over here. I sat there and watched it grab one of my corn stalks and clip the top off of it right here. Look at that, broke the top off of these. So I'm not too worried, because if you look at that corn, I'm gonna have to get back in there. It's pollinated well. Let's see. You can kind of see there's some water on there, but you can see how the pollen sticks to it. And if you look on here real close, you can see the pollen actually fall off of these leaves. It just rained not too long ago, and there's more pollen on here already, just starting to be on the leaves. You see that? You see all that pollen fall? Look at that. There's a lot of pollen. I just pollinated some corn. Just right there doing that. So another thing I wanted to show, yeah, I see one right there, but I'm gonna try and get into there. On a previous video, that one where I just kind of yip yap a lot, I mentioned, when I just was yip yapping, I mentioned that they had something going on with the corn that I was curious about what it would do. And I have since found out what it will do when it does that. Look, this is one right here. It's a offshoot of the main corn branch, and it comes out and it does this, and it acts like an ear with silk, and then all of a sudden on top of it, it starts tasseling, and then there's little ears, little kernels of corn on there, on the right under the tassel. So that's kind of weird. I've never seen that before. I mean, I ain't been around corn too many times in my life to know that it would do that. But I saw some more back up in here. It's kind of hard getting through here. Some of them did that, you know, that double, like a little shoots off of them. And I'm really having fun. What's that noise? Well, I do hear a lot of bees. So I might be getting myself into some trouble here. But anyway, that's what that is. That's what I showed you earlier. I know there's one way back over here. I just heard something make a loud crashing sound. I wanted to know what that was. But there's one. Look. See that? It had silks on top of it, and then it looked like it's almost like an ear of corn, huh? What in the heck? I've never heard of that before. I have kind of heard of it, but I didn't know what made it happen. And what it is it's offshoots off of the main corn stalk down there. It's sent off 2 shoots off to the side, kind of like making a W. And corn is thick. But look at this beautiful silky corn here in here. New ears forming all over the place. Even on some of these younger ones that were smaller, they just all of a sudden shooting up. Yeah. See these ones that I fill in the gaps with? They are actually putting out ears. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm looking at this, and this thing is right at my height. Those right there. That corn stalk's 3 foot taller than me. It's got to be 9 foot tall. I mean, there's a lot of them that's 9 foot tall. Shoot. Six, right over 6 feet. Me. Look at that. Nice little honeybee getting his. That's nice to see. I ain't seen too many honeybees on here. But even these smaller ones, you can see, look at all the pollen. And even these smaller ones, they say, you know, short ones, that ain't no good when they do that, but they're making ears. And that's some decent looking ears, even on the smaller, lesser ones. So I'm not worried that things are going to work out just fine with the corn. That should be okay. So corn's looking impressive enough. I mean, there's ears all up on this corn. Some of them have 2, some of them have just 1. See, I know that doggone squirrel got here. See? Yeah. And he was breaking that. So I'm gonna try and stand this back up and just give it a little bit, but it's done formed the ears down on the bottom, and it's getting pollinated, so it should be all right. And look, that squirrel ate it right there. Stand your butt up and see, that squirrel ate the half the side of this one. That sucker's grabbing him, and just look at that. I don't like that. See if I can kind of make it kind of grab onto this other one right here. Hold it up, maybe give it a little bit more strength, stand it up wise for a little while. It's got 2 good ears on it, really good ears. And I can see the pollen on them silks. You can see it. Let's see. Saw that pollen fall? I don't know if you could see it. Lots of pollen. So leave it to its own devices. Boy, you can smell them figs. They're getting really close. So see when they turn that dark green like that and they start really getting that fig looking color. I mean, that's some right on the precipice of ripening. So they got tens of thousands of figs on these trees. I don't know, maybe not that many, thousands of figs. And even the little ones that I clipped back, they're not little, they're as old as the other ones. They just got clipped back to see the one I left. Look at that. See that thing? That's what's eating my corn. A little bit later this evening I might have a little surprise in store for them. Oh Lord, look at this. I mean, I got in here and I clip and I clip and I clip this. Okay. Y'all coming in here? Look at the yellow. And my little experiment, what I wanted to do on this was to have a lot of it planted in the shade of the trees, and then have some of it, you know, it's going to get, it's right now it's kind of shaded, but I'm pretty sure I lost this one the other day in that thunderstorm, and I'm pretty sure I lost this one. I mean, that's pretty much gone. These are still alive. That's that Brandywine, and it's still alive, but they sit there and that sun just beats the heck out of them, and this water kind of stagnates over here. My pepper plants, they ain't doing great. I'm gonna have to build this up and fill this in, because we have had water, rain, non-stop over the past week. It's just non-stop. It's just not stopping. So it's not so bad up like from about this point on. I mean, you can see they got some yellow, and I gotta cut that out again. Every day I gotta come and clip that out of there, because look, even them ones that were doing bad, then they started doing good. Now, I mean, I don't even know if this one's still alive. See, its feet are staying wet the whole time. Almost took up the, we can't, their feet can't stay wet, their roots can't stay wet that long in dirt like this. If it's hydroponics, it's fine, but look at the top, it's not good. That's not doing good. So, and I mean, I gotta come and clip all of that nasty disease infested stuff out of there. That's just, ugh. I mean, I got tomatoes all over these things. It's a lot. Every one of these plants is starting to load up, but look how nice back here. These plants that was taking a longer time when the cold weather was here, and they were having a harder time, like they still got some disease back here, but it's not near as bad. See, that's not near as bad as up into the front, where that sun comes through that line and hits constantly. Not constantly, but it starts about midday around 12 o'clock, and then it lasts till later in the evening. And these tomatoes just can't handle that kind of heat. It went from, you know, a very cool, mild spring to summer in 2 days. So, yeah, look how many tomatoes are on these plants. I mean, it's just loaded. These right here, I can tell you right now, this one's starting to turn. I know why. Every one of these is getting this dang blossom end rot, and I'm doing what I can to prevent it. These were having a little bit of a problem with it, but they seem to be coming out of it now. Look, this one's got it. Not all of them have it, but not all of them have it. But it's all up in this area. I'm not seeing it right here. These are very affected, and one or two of these up here were very, very affected. That one's got it. I can see it's forming right now. See that? I can see it forming. So I'm gonna just get rid of that tomato off of there. These are doing fine. But I noticed once I started opening up the airing out, letting the air flow through, they're doing a little better. See, I can tell this tomato's done for. Let's just look at the tomatoes. Look how it looks. This plant's done for sitting in too much water. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off for fried green tomatoes. And cause we eat that. That's good. The other one's a little smallish. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pop them off of there. That's sitting in that water like that, that ain't no good. And this one ain't gonna make it. The one next to it is kinda still hanging on. And see, it comes up out of that water right here. I'm just gonna have to come and get the scissors and clip all of that yellow out of there. It's gonna hardly have any tops on it, but it's gotta be done. This squash stinks. And I noticed they got flies all over this thing. I think it stinks and attracts flies. This has not a good pleasant smell to it. And I see a lot more flies around squash, the spaghetti squash. So I wonder if that's a way that attracts to have them come and pollinate. So here the cucumbers, of course. They just decided to do a nice little grow. Hey, y'all remember when I asked what that little shoot off the side would do? I kind of videoed this before. This is what it did. It's making an ear of corn and a tassel all in one at the terminal end of that shoot. So that's just pretty crazy, I think. I know I've heard of it before. I know I've heard people see it before. Very rarely. I'd forgotten about it too. But that's it. That's what it did. There's actually kernels of corn. I guess it got pollinated and it's actually making kernels of corn. If you can see that. That's crazy. So I got some other ones. Look. That one right there. You see that? Well, it's kind of focusing weird. See right there, that silk coming out of that one at the top, at the terminal part, and there's another. No. The other one on the other side fell down, but it splits off the bottom of that corn stalk and it comes up, and there it is right there, putting silk out. And that's exactly how that one started right here. And they got a few of them in there. I see another one back up in there, but that one's gonna be impossible to film video. But I'm trying to just look and see if I can see any. No, it didn't happen on all of them, but is that one over there? I don't know. I can't tell. It's so thick back up in there. But look, the corn's looking good, man. It's looking real good. Something I learned, I took an ear off of one of them. See, look, there's a little bit of, see how the silk's on that one? And then the one right below it, that's a different stalk coming up with the, but they got just a little silk. I wonder if that's gonna form a good ear. I mean, some of these ears are smaller, and that's a smaller stalk. But then they got the ones that's a long eared corn. Now, I noticed on some of these, some of the silks was chopped off, or it looked like they were just cut even with the corn. Look there. I don't know. Yeah, like the silks just disappeared. I don't know if any kind of fertilization happened early enough on in its life that it'll form something, but that'll be interesting to see too. Because I think a bug done clipped all them silks off of there. It ain't happened to all of them. I thought I might be having a problem. Because I see they get them worms in them in the deep south area, and I'm not too far from them. I mean, we're same climate, same everything. I'm just right down the road, basically. So, I'm hoping that I don't have those worm problems. Because I guess I could get in there and put something on these, but I really don't want to. I want to see how they do without it. So I'm hoping I'm hoping and praying I don't have all them worms. I know what you do to deal with them because of watching them, but we'll see. All right, y'all, just a little look at the corn. That's some of it that's 9 foot tall. That corn's definitely well over 3 foot. That might even be 10 foot. No, nah. It's between 9 and 10 foot tall for sure. And there's another one that's that tall right there. God, oh, and there's one up in there that's even taller than them. Jeez, them pigs. That corn's getting tall. Wow. You know, got some nice ears. Got some pretty good ears in there. Also can tell where the stupid squirrel's getting in there. And just wreaking havoc on everything. I mean, there's plenty enough ears in there to go around. Look at that. Tore that one up. See? Reach my hand in there. Sheesh. I can't. Let's see. Maybe if I can bring it over here. Reach my hand. Okay. See? Yeah, that squirrel ate that corn. But then they got this pretty corn on the other side. It's just starting to form. It's a bicolor corn, yellow and white. And look, that squirrel didn't get there, so. It's just getting some sugar. That's human bites. Oh, wait, I threw it over there. I should throw it to the chicken. They love that stuff. Well, anyway, fighting with the pest in the gardens. All right, back out here in the garden. I certainly don't get to do many morning videos because I'm usually at my other job. But it sure is a different, prettier sight in the morning. The pollinators are out, getting up in there. And the flowers are nice and big and pretty. So that's all good. They got some spaghetti squashes all up in there. And I see one right there. I'm just gonna take a quick look. I don't want to disrupt the morning routine too much. Yeah. There's a few more going on. I see some over here. So this stuff is already grown in a place where I really didn't want it to get, on the other side of that fence, because last year the cucumbers did that and the deer annihilated them. Now, something I noticed about this spaghetti squash, I don't know, might have said this in another video I took. There's a smell to it. It's not the most pleasant of aromatic smells, but it's all right, you know. It's not a pleasant smell. I think it attracts flies for pollination. So we're just starting to get where we're gonna have cucumbers. What is that noise? Anyway, we're just starting to get to where we got cucumbers on our plants. They're just starting to get a few here and there. I see one in there that might be pollinated. But once these start coming on, they really start coming on. I saw another one up in there somewhere. There it is right there. And then right there. So this is supposed to be straight 8s, but I'm not 100% sure. Look at that short, fat, stubby one. straight 8s are generally a long, nice looking long one. This, I think they put different kind of seeds in here, but we'll see what we get. Cucumber, gonna be cucumbers. Some of the summer squash is really starting to look a little bit better. I transplanted these 2 terrible looking bell peppers. There's some new growth coming on at the top right here, so I don't think it's dead by a long shot. It's just in that heat and in that wet area versus how my peppers that I grew look. These are looking, I mean, so that's a little runt of a pepper right there, but you know, I planted some pretty decrepit looking peppers, and they're really nice little cayenne coming on right there. So we got stuff happening with the peppers. I think the cayenne stopped right here. I think that's another cayenne. Yeah. And then we go to the jalapenos. Now I did try and do a little chopping of the top to make them bush out, so I don't know if they are or they aren't, but we'll see. I clipped the top of that basil yesterday to try and make it bush. That's the top of it right there. More jalapenos. I'm gonna have to pull this over here and make it go the other way, because I do not want you going into my peppers. Okay. So that's all jalapenos except for one. That one was a bell pepper, and look how decrepit it looked. They all, I don't know, I had them planted over here. I need to transplant those last basil, and I dug them up. You see how it's all slimy right there? Well, that's where water was standing. And if you look, you could tell I gave my tomatoes a severe haircut, and it looks like this one might be coming back to life. Look at that, it is. Thank goodness. I thought I had lost them. Even the tomatoes were looking a little bad, but this is what I wanted to show you. They still a little wilted, but they when that sun hits them, it really tears them up. This one is actually coming back to life. Look at that. See how poorly these look? I gotta cut that off the left. That's another stem on the same plant, and here's another stem. That storm came through and really hurt them. See, this coming back. So I'm gonna let it come on back and do its thing. The one next to it did okay, but if you look at this one during the day when that sun hits them, oh Lord, it looks terrible. And this one, I thought I had totally lost this one, and look at that, coming back to life, coming back. So it was a combination between the storms, too much water, too much heat, and I had fertilized, so maybe even a little over fertilization at the wrong time. But now if you look at these plants right here, you can see that wilt on there, that blight. I have been chopping these back. I got to come and do this almost every day now. These plants will look terrible once that sun hits them in the evening. Look, you can kind of see it still, but they perked up right now, believe it or not. This looks really good for what they are. And I mean, I got so many tomatoes on these plants. It's just, I mean, tomatoes everywhere. Now, I had a problem on these front rows with the blossom end rot, so I'm hoping that I might have that under control. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. So we see how they fare out. My Brandywine on this, the one that was doing the best, really, I mean, only one tomato on it, so not too great. The heat just really took its toll on it. Now these ones back here, Brandywines, they got a tomato on this one, just starting. But that's how the heirlooms are, you know. And then they got one right there. I know I had another one. I planted a sucker. That's it right in there. I planted the sucker, and it grew. I'm gonna have to dig that one up and go bring it somewhere else. But this is, you know, outside of the few Brandywines I got in there, this is mostly mortgage lifters. That's where that one cracked. Got forming that new sucker off of there, gonna form the new branch. And I'm gonna come get some string. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Been up for a while, and it was a little too dark to film video earlier. But these mortgage lifters right here are seeming to look pretty good. I mean, they got some good sets on them. That's nice. That's nice. Look at that. Look at on there. So mortgage lifters, I've had them produce some really great tomatoes in the past for me. Some really nice sized tomatoes. But every now and then you get this group, and they make a tomato not much bigger than that, and it looks just the same as that. So I'm hoping that ain't it. I hope that one continues to grow. So we'll see. And then either right here or right here. I think this is a mortgage lifter the way the plant looks. Then I think we start getting into some black crims. We'll see how they do. They got black crims over here. All of them have some tomatoes on them. And then this side's black crim right here too. You kind of see how the shoulders of that tomato has that kind of traditional look. This one down there, see? And then from this point on, down this row to about that far pole over there right before it, that's all Homestead tomatoes. And I'm pretty sure it's Homestead. I might have thrown a Rutgers or two in there because these are growing pretty tall. I don't know, I thought it was all Homestead, but this is definitely Homesteads because they're determinate and they're short. Look at the haircut I had to give these. I think these three on the end are Homesteads right here. Yeah, so that might all be Homesteads. It just might be the ones behind it. But I know I got some Rutgers right here. Starting about right here is Rutgers. Rutgers really seem to put out tomatoes. I mean, that's 4, 4, 2. So that's 10 tomatoes on that one plant right there. And most of them, that's you know, that's not the ones that's got the most. The ones, look at these Homesteads. They really prolific too, man. They really put out some tomatoes. They really do, and low too. I didn't. So, I mean, look, that's right. This and that plant right there. Remember, I had to cut that one back pretty big time. But they all putting out some tomatoes. Cool, up in there. That's nothing but tomatoes all up in there. Jeez. Got some nice ones down there. Be picking tomatoes before long. I picked some and ripened them, and they had the blossom end rot. That's getting that. Look, I could pick that one and ripen it up on the shelf. I'm gonna let it go another day. These super sauces, I had really high expectations, and I still do, but every single one of them has had to deal with blossom end rot when they get to a certain size. So I am hoping that calcium nitrate that I put down is gonna help them. And I put some Epsom salt on them too. Now these are the ones that I had fits with in the beginning that I said wasn't putting out any tomatoes. But there's tomatoes on there for sure. But they still look peaky. Now it could be almost guaranteed that they're not planted in the most ideal area, because they get the full brunt of the sun in the evening, and then it goes down into this wet area over here. So I might not have given these a fast shake, but they do just from here. I mean, look, they got some nice tomatoes on there. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'll take it. It looks like they put out, look, that's a pretty looking tomato there. Look at that. Nice looking stuff. We'll see. I don't know. They're having a hard time with that evening sun. So we'll see what goes on here. So for right now, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have a fair tomato harvest when it comes on. Well, look at that little stout tomato plant. I mean, that's just nice looking. So much nice in the morning, but boy, I tell you what, the humidity is just, you feel like you're swimming. You really do. Even these ones, these were the ones that were planted way behind. Like, they were a little tiny teensy thing. And look, they coming on. They putting their, this one ain't got no tomatoes yet on it, but it's gonna come on, because this little friend right next to it got some. And the other little side got one. We got a few on here. These are, I planted these way back here where they catch most of the shade, and I wanted to see if that made a difference, if it extended their lifespan. So the ones out in the front that got the sun the most, they have more tomatoes on them right now, but they look the worst, the plants. Now the tomatoes still look fine. We'll see how they do. The ones in the back over here have fewer tomatoes, but the plants look much more healthy. So it might give me a longer extended season if these put out later on. We'll see. We shall see. And my peppers, boy, I'm just so happy that they really popped up. Alright. Well, that's all I'm going to do for right now. There ain't really nothing else going on in here. I cultivated, and then I took the regular hoe, and I pulled some dirt up around the roots, because their roots were starting to show with all that rain that's been hitting. So I kind of put some dirt up on their roots. So that seemed like it helped a little bit too. You can kind of see how I piled it up right there. So, alright y'all, that's it for today. It's May 23rd, Saturday. I got to go make tamales at Mom's house today. I never did that with my mama before, and my mom and my Aunt Faye making tamales, and they inviting me over to learn. And I love their tamales, so if I get a chance, I'll try and make a video on that. That should be a fun time. Alright. Y'all take care. Bye. Hello everybody. Look at the tomatoes. I'm huffing and puffing because it's hot, and I mean, just walking from your house to the garden is crazy. I got some tomatoes on there, but there again, look at the water. It's just day after day after day of rain and rain and rain. So I'm gonna be picking my first tomatoes today. I see some bug holes in some of them tomatoes too on the other side. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we get. There's one in there. Some nice Nice looking little tomato. You gotta pick these a little early on here. I mean, I might be able to let them go, but I'm already seeing some bug damage on the other side. Look at that. That's a beautiful tomato. Oh, that one's got that blossom end rot starting in it. That's just wonderful, huh? Look, they all kind of got a little bit area. It might not be rotten, but it's still showing just a little bit. I don't like that. Not all of them got that, but some of them do. And then, whew, some of these came back. The ones that were about dead, they came back to life. That's crazy that they showed that, but we'll see. Oh, look, I got worm problem. Oh yeah, look at them things. So I'm going to get the 7 dust after I pick these and hose them down with it. Spray them down. No, sprinkle them down. You gotta. One thing I ain't seen none, and I hate to say it because I don't want to jinx myself, is I ain't seen a hornworm yet. And that's just crazy that I haven't. And it's only them other kind of worms. I think that's called the army worm. But look at here, these little ones right here. I'll take that. That's them right, but they ain't big, but yeah, they'll do.
What's up, everyone? All right, so
What's
I just
that?
came back from lunch. I had an awesome morning.
My phone does that to me right now and comes on and scares the heck out of me because the button's hit in my pocket. Nice. Now I don't understand this. Oh, okay. Well, that makes all the sense in the world. Blossom end rot. And then what I saw from afar, there's some more something going on. They ain't hit that one yet, so that's, here's the hoping. See, that's not damaged, that's just the way this one formed, but that's one of those beefsteaks. Steakhouse. So, not a bad little haul of tomatoes for the first get up and go around. But that one did have a little bit of a damage in it. But in this one. So, but the rest of them are pretty spiffy. First tomato, and hopefully a lot more to come. So I'm gonna put this down here. Today is the 26th, the day after Memorial Day. I worked a long day yesterday. I want y'all to remember our boys. I know y'all do. There's some good people out there, but we yesterday was the anniversary, 3rd year anniversary of my nephew, Marine Corps soldier, warrior, killer of enemies, passed away at 20 years old. And yesterday on Memorial Day was the 3-year anniversary to that. So I hope y'all recognize that there's some people that mean a lot to everybody out there, and we miss Michael. It's a hard thing to think about, even. It'll always be hard to think about. Anyway, that was Memorial Day yesterday. Anyway, here's the cucumbers are really starting to show some new stuff on them. So one, yeah, there it is, right there. That's one right there. You know, you just gotta watch these things just go crazy, and I do not want you going that way. You cannot go that way. Last year they went that way and the deer ate them up on that fence, so we'll come back in this here. But there's some. There's one. I'm sure they're gonna have more coming up on down there. Let's see. See, there are a lot of male flowers at the beginning, and then the female flowers. Look, that one might have pollinated up in there. I see some up in there. There's a little bit in, just starting out. Yep, they're gonna come on. I see another cucumber up in there. Just what I'm saying is, you know, there's gonna be plenty enough for us to eat and enjoy. I've never been much of a person to set back cucumbers, and I would love to. There's only so much you can do. That one never really formed that great. Just a little. I think I'm gonna pick it and just hopefully we get better production later on down the line. Look, this sucker I put in the ground is growing. This one isn't showing that it might be coming back. And look at this one. The sucker I put in the ground, tomatoes are coming out on it. Isn't that crazy? So, tomatoes on a sucker. That's amazing. The squash, the summer squash finally starting to come on. Now, these are transplanted peppers. Look, the leaves just starting to form on this one. Who knows? This one probably will come on. It'll probably, see them little leaves right there? It'll probably start putting out, but they were drowning on themselves over there. We got some peppers coming out on these. All these are looking like they're starting to put out a little something here and there. So, once peppers go, they go. Oh, I gotta trellis that one up. I might have to put a trellis on these to kind of support them. But I can't dilly-dally too much in the garden today. I got some canning I need to do with the basil. And I gotta cook some food tonight. Everybody's relying on me to cook some food. And I had something else I wanted to do. I always got something to do. Anyway, jarring potatoes. Oh, I gotta cook some eggs too for lunch because I gotta do something with them eggs. Anyway, look at this squash growing on that gate. That's why I can't open that gate too rough. It's growing up that gate. That's all right, as long as it just grows this way. All right, that's all for today. Got him. He got me, but I got him. Dang. That was, felt like he was carrying a knife with him. Man. So bad. Yeah, there's a cucumber right there. That's pretty nice. Oh, almost a picker. Yeah, I could pick that one, but I'm gonna let it go a little longer. pepper wise, these are the transplanted peppers. They were doing horrible. This one, they're coming back though. Oh, look at this. There's some suckers I popped off. They all alive. This one was nothing, and now it's making a bush. That one actually has tomatoes on it. The peppers are really looking good. That looks like chilies almost. There's some skinny jalapenos. I know I got chilies on here. This is chilies for sure. That's chili. But most of these, the majority of the jalapeno peppers, I believe. That's a chili. Not a chili. That's a cayenne. And then jalapeno. Jalapeno. Everything down here is jalapeno except for the few basils and that transplanted bell pepper. So, I mean, they're pretty good little jalapenos on there. They'll start putting out really strong. They do pretty well in the heat. Now, for the tomatoes. These things struggle so bad here in the sun part. We kind of got overcast right now, but they struggle so bad in this heated part right here where the sun comes through this area. So, I mean, still got a lot of tomatoes on all of these plants, but they ripen up. None of them like monstrous tomatoes. I wouldn't win any contest, that's for sure. But I do have a lot. Now this tomato plant was suffering from the blight. You can still see it up in there. Yep. See that? That ain't no good. So yeah, there's some worms all up in here too for a little bit, but for the most part, I mean, we're still seeing a lot of tomatoes here, but I see color just barely inching out on some of these, and that's not a bad sized tomato, but I mean, I used to grow them a lot bigger than that. But again, this is the first year in this house, in this area, that I've grown tomatoes in this place. So, you know, gotta be a little happy with what I got, since I got something, you know. Just the fact that I got something. I mean, it looks like there's still going to be plenty. I mean, that's a nice sized tomato right there. Looks like it's doing all right. And the rest of these are, you know, with the little color in that one, it'll be ready to pick in a few days. And even these that gave me problems in the beginning, like I told you, I'll pick some of these. That's some of the biggest tomatoes I got, is these right there on this steakhouse. So we'll see how it goes. The plants look terrible, but the tomatoes are hanging on there, and they are in, again, this hot area, so maybe I didn't give them a fair fighting chance. But everything is rolling along. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna keep this one down to bare minimums, and I'm just gonna hang out because I gotta work on the weekend, and this is Friday, and I want to kind of relax a little this evening. I'm already sweating like a bear. Bear sweat? Yeah, they do. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later.